Do I look good?
You look great.
Do I look ready?
You look, yeah.
You look good. You look good.
You look great.
Oh shoot, we're live. Oh gosh. I'm just kidding. I totally knew I was playing. So it is Monday, and today we're talking about, I'm not going to tell you because I have to introduce my partner first. So Mr. Glutathione Authority, Alan Ogden, is an absolutely incredibly educated, as we all know, pharmacologist with 40 years of experience, 40 plus years of experience in the industry. He has 4 nutritional degrees, except he doesn't look like it, obviously. Everybody's like, how is that possible? He doesn't look old enough. And he's got a degree in geriatric medicine, a degree in energy medicine, and he also, with all of his incredible experience, has learned that there is so much more that we need to know about health than what the medical industry strictly teaches us. And this is one of the reasons why I made him my best friend, why I made him my business partner, why he's sitting beside me. I want you guys to really understand that I'm an incredibly picky person when it comes to the people that I decide to associate myself with, because I don't have white coat syndrome. I lost that years ago. I really like to associate myself with people that are out of a state of hypnosis and thinking for themselves and are breaking outside of the box and are doing things to change the world, that are wanting to make a difference, that love people and want to help them live an amazing life. Whether they're creating beautiful jewelry, whether they're doing what I'm doing, which is hypnosis and healing, whether they're doing what Alan's doing by educating on different ways to live a quality lifestyle. So I just want you to know that I have very carefully handpicked this human to be besties with and partners with, and I am absolutely blessed to have him in my life and to have him by my side and to be able to utilize his beautiful brain in support in educating you guys.
Thank you. Wow. That was incredible.
I know, that was the most badass intro ever.
I really appreciate that. And one of the things if I could throw something in there, because it's not on my bio anywhere, but I did 4 years of pediatrics pediatric pharmacy. Then I did practice geriatric pharmacy until the government of Alberta decided they wouldn't pay for the practice of geriatric pharmacy. And the practice of geriatric pharmacy was actually to enable people to get off of medication. And they decided that that wasn't a really good use of their money, even though I showed them how they could save, at the time, this is a number of years ago, they could save about $125 million a year if we continued to practice. So that was one of the things I did. And then I spent about 5 years specifically in the practice of oncology, pharmacy, nutrition, oncology. So it's great to be in your kitchen. I love the fact that Harmony and I get to do these things together. The reason we got together, both brain injured people, mine from a virus, hers from a concussion, from a severe car accident, and our recovery plan turned out to be very similar: collagen protein, optimizing glutathione. As Harmony's brain got better, I realized that she was incredibly intelligent. I watched her study. She set up all the social media for Glutathione Authority. She took emotion code, body code, pranic healing, clinical hypnotherapy, and she continues to educate herself every day. And that is a beautiful thing. So together we are keeping very, very current on things. And today I read this article over the weekend and it literally blew my mind. It's a study that's just recently completed, and the study wasn't called 100,000 Reasons Why You Can't Lose Weight. That's my title for the study. But in it, it actually explained so well why we're having this just tremendous struggle with losing weight. Now, I know most people say that we're eating too much sugar, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're not exercising enough, and so on and so forth. But in this study, they really showed how incredibly difficult it is to understand your own body, where you're starting from. And so what I wanted to do tonight and I know Harmony has a lot of things to contribute as well, but I wanted to help you understand your journey. You need to understand the journey that you're about to embark on in order to set realistic goals for yourself. So where did the number 100,000 come from? Well, the average person in the United States needs to lose 28.57 pounds, if you want it exactly. 28.57 pounds. There's 3,500 calories per pound of fat. That's 100,000 calories. So just think about that for a minute. Now, if you're sitting there saying, well, I only have 10 pounds to lose, great, you only have 35,000 calories of stored energy. And if you have 15 pounds to lose, you have 50-some thousand stored calories in your body. The barrier to accessing those calories lies in the fact that we store glycogen in our body. Glycogen is sugar. It's currently what you're running your body with. We're very, very good at storing glycogen. Our liver stores almost a pound, so somewhere between 350 and 450 grams of glycogen. In caloric terms, that's somewhere around 2,000, a little more than 2,000 calories of stored glycogen just in your liver. In your muscles, you also store glycogen. You store about 100 grams of glycogen in your liver, which is about another 500 calories. So you are a long way from burning fat. That's my point to all of this, is that you are a long way from burning fat.
I feel so defeated when he talks like that. Oh my God, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. We're gonna solve that problem. And I think if you understand the problem, so think about this. Let's say you decide you're gonna lose weight, and you're one of those people, and we're just gonna use the 100,000. So you're one of those people, I need to lose 28.57 pounds, and then I'm going to be at my perfectly wonderful, happy weight. You have 100,000 calories to use up. 100, and you're going to do it with diet. Let's just say you're going to do it with diet. Just kind of do it that way. If you reduce your caloric intake by 350 calories a day, that's a reasonable amount. If you decrease your current caloric intake by more than 350 calories a day, you actually get a reverse response in your body. So the caloric intake has to be monitored. So a lot of people, they're going to go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut my calories in half, and I'm going to lose weight. And that sends a signal to your body that food is scarce, and it's really not going to let you lose weight. Now, you might lose some weight, and we're going to talk about that in a second, but 350 calories a day is within the range of your body's flexibility and enables you to actually go, okay, I can give that up. I can give up 350 calories without causing any kind of adverse response in my body. So if you were to reduce 350 calories a day, just divide 350 into 100,000 to find out how long you need to discipline yourself every day to burn 28.5 pounds. Maybe somebody will figure that out for us. Maybe somebody will actually divide 100,000 by 350 and give us the number. So let's say you're like, okay, well, I'll tell you what, Alan, I really don't want to alter my diet too much, but I go to the gym. Okay, so the average workout, the article that I'm referring to, these guys did a lot of research to put this article together. So the average gym workout, and here's something that people do all the time, is they gigantically overestimate their calorie burn during a workout. They just hugely overestimate that.
I heard a guy the other day who was a super roid monkey when I was at the street festival on Saturday, and he was like, I'm currently in a calorie deficit right now, so I can totally have me some croissants or whatever. It was really funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I was
Calorie deficit.
I was like, honey, I'm so glad you're not one of those, because if I was dating a guy who was that OCD about his calories and talking like that, I would just lose my mind.
Well, okay. I don't know. Maybe we should ask this question. What's the average You all go on Google. The average workout burns 300 calories. 300 calories. The average 1 hour trip to the gym burns 300 calories. That's your cardio and your workout combined. Now, I like to walk, and I go for 10K walks. Usually they're 10 or a little better. In American language, that's 6 miles, 6 to 7 miles. It takes me a little over 2 hours. And my calorie burn for that, anybody want to guess? It's not even 500 calories. And I'm not talking about just meandering around. I like going for a walk, and I like to walk. So I go for a walk, and I burn about 500 calories. So when people go to the gym, here's what they tend to do. They tend to, like this dude, they tend to go, hey, I'm in a calorie deficit now. I've been to the gym. I burned a bunch of calories. I can treat myself. Lots of people think they can treat themselves. So I picked this up along the way just to show you, right? This is how simple this whole process is. So a little treat. I have a little treat here.
It's really heavy.
Yeah, I've been to the gym. So I owed myself a little treat. Wow. Where this bar has ever been, I don't know. There's 500 calories.
Oh, God.
There's 500 calories. So you just had that and enjoyed it, and it literally spoiled everything you did at the gym. Well, I don't do that, Alan. I do something else. This thing is really in bad shape. I don't know where it is. Anyway, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce my diet and go to the gym. I'm going to reduce my calorie intake by 350, and I'm going to go work out. So now I'm going to burn 650 calories a day, which is a great idea, by the way. It's a super duper idea. I think you should actually reduce your calorie intake a little bit and go to the gym. That'd be a really good idea. I would love to meet the person. I'm just eating a little chocolate.
There's some crumbs he left on my book.
Yeah. So here's our challenge with all of that. Number one, get into the gym consistently every day. Most of us can't do that. To burn that 300 calories, we can get to the gym maybe 3 times a week. If we're lucky, sometimes we can get there more, but most people, it's about an average of 3 times a week. So our gym calorie burn is going to be about 1,000 calories. Now we've reduced our calorie intake from our food 350 calories if a day, and if we were to do that 7 days, that's whatever. So we literally have, with our combination of calorie reduction and going to the gym, we haven't even burned the glycogen in our liver and our muscles yet.
I remember there was a myth when I was younger, I want to say like in my 20s and stuff, I was told that after 20 to 30 minutes of exercise, you were burning fat.
I am so glad you mentioned that.
Right? I was reading his mind. I knew what to say.
So people go to Orange Theory, or they go to some high-intensity interval training workout because they have heard that you need to do that to get into fat burn. And that happens to be true. So we need some high-intensity, short-period high-intensity workout to actually stimulate our body to burn some calories. Now, it's very interesting for people to go from sedentary to something like a 35-minute high-intensity interval training workout. You go the first day, and then you try to get there the second day, but you can't move, and the third day is even worse. So I'm just going to tell you that I think the gym is a really good idea. I really do, but you need to go kind of slow. Otherwise, you aren't going to go. You aren't going to get there because you're going to just stiffen up, you're going to be sore, you're going to have a number of reasons not to get there. So there is a little program, Dr. Mercola has one, high intensity workout, 9 minutes a day. That's the one I use. It's 9 minutes a day. I can do it, jump out of bed in the morning. I do my first 3 minutes before I do anything else. I do my first 3 minutes, 3 times a day. And it actually, that high intensity, that does burn 350 calories, by the way, in 9 minutes. And after that, actually it puts your body in caloric burn for a period of time after that, 5 or 6 hours after that. So it's a really cool little deal. So my point to all this is just to help you understand how difficult it is. So when people go on diets, they generally go on an unassisted calorie-restricted diet. In other words, they go somewhere or they read a book or they do something and they go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. First of all, what I think you need to do, but this is what people do. There's a difference there. So what people do is they decide they're just going to use food. They're just going to get rid of food. And so they start just cutting back on food. And it's really easy to do that for a few days, and then pretty much all the time we mess up. So it's a combination of things. And this is why I love having a program. This is one of the reasons why I brought TrúKeto to VSI, along with Harmony, is because it gives you a program to follow. It gives you something to do. Now, I think a lot of people missed, they read True and they forgot the keto part of TrúKeto. And so tonight, we want to talk a little bit more about actually integrating a TrúKeto combination into your plan and what that will do for you. Once again, I want to point this out. If you're the average American who has 28.57 pounds to lose, it ain't happening this week. I've had so many people, I just can't even begin to count the number of people that have said to me, not just about TrúKeto, but they've tried TrúKeto, they tried it for a week, or they tried it for 2 weeks and nothing happened, or they didn't lose weight, or they gained weight, or they tried, you talked to somebody that tried a keto diet, right? And she...
Oh my God, yeah, it's amazing that you brought that up. It was really interesting because I was at this festival and I sat down and had a conversation, and of course it was really funny because, you know, everybody and their dog is on a diet because it's springtime, so we have to get into our bikini wear ready. And so, you know, I mentioned that the boys are on a ketosis diet, and she goes, oh, well, I'm on this M3 diet or whatever. I tried the ketosis diet and I ended up in the hospital with a heart attack. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I'm so sorry to hear that. But I feel like there's a little bit of variance when it comes to that, and I think, you know, some people might be taking some license and you know, so I'm kind of curious as to what foods it was that you were eating on this ketasis diet. Oh, well, I had to eat a whole bunch of bacon, and then I had to eat all this hamburgers. I was eating all these hamburgers, and I was eating, like, it was just all meat. And I'm like, did you eat any vegetables? Well, no. Okay, all right. And then I was eating a whole bunch of, like, cheese, cheddar cheese and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. So it's just a disgusting diet. So I find that it's really, really interesting because I think you can absolutely... take the ketosis diet and go to a very dark place with it if you want to, and make yourself quite sick, which is why I think another reason why some people actually get what they call keto sick as well, or the keto flu too.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me. I mean, that, you know, Dr. Atkins came under a lot of criticism years ago for his very first book, which came out in the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s. The Atkins Diet Revolution, and he came under a lot of criticism because he literally, you could eat anything in the area of fat, you could have any diet pop that you wanted. You know, the diet was really, I guess it was geared to the ideas of the time, because at that time people actually thought diet pop was good for you or not harmful for you.
Oh yeah.
And so you could drink, you know, diet pop. You could eat cheese. You could just eat all sorts of stuff that we wouldn't advise. And people that actually are eating keto do not do that. They don't load up just on bacon and hamburger and so on. While it is a higher fat and higher protein, there's a lot of vegetables involved in actually being on a keto diet. So here's what I'm going to suggest for everybody that's out there. Number one, just give yourself this opportunity to sit down and say, I would like to lose X amount of pounds. Take that amount of pounds and multiply it by 3,500. And that's the number of fat calories that you need to burn in order to lose that weight. Now, a couple of other things that you need to know is that you carry, if you're an average American person, you carry 8 to 15 pounds of fecal matter in your bowel at any given time. So if you were to cleanse your body, most people will lose somewhere around 8 to 10 pounds. And quite often that will happen on the first few days of a diet, just because we make dietary changes and our body isn't used to it, our intestinal flora isn't used to it, we get a reaction, and all of a sudden we're cleaning ourselves out, and we can lose 8 to 10 pounds, maybe in the first week, 2 weeks, or something like that. The next thing you lose from your body is water weight or inflammation. So one of the things that a true keto diet is anti-inflammatory. If you're doing it right and you're not eating a lot of inflammatory fats, it is an actually anti-inflammatory diet. When the inflammation goes down, the water will go down. So literally the professional people that I talk to that are in this space, they will tell their clients, ignore your first 2 weeks of results. We're not really concerned about, we don't want you watching the scale, we don't want you, things are going to happen. And we don't know how to predict it. But the statistics tell us that somewhere over 60% of all women will gain weight in the first 2 weeks of a diet.
Tina Richardson, she's actually a girl that I went to high school with.
Okay.
She said 15 pounds of fecal matter, sick veggies, people veggies. That's so funny. And it is quite interesting because I know that we've talked about that before, how the average girl has, 6 to 8 pounds of fecal matter, and men it's up to 10 to 12 pounds.
Oh yeah, that can be 15.
Yeah.
Or it can be more than that.
Oh.
It can, depending on their weight, it can be a lot.
So some men can be literally full of it.
Yeah. Yeah, people can literally be full of it. There's no doubt about it. So we want to clean that up first. So one of the things that I think is really important for you to do is do a cleanse of some sort. And we have a product called Renza. That's good. You might want to get a cleansing tea. You just...
Like, where is it?
Yeah.
I just want to stop for 2 seconds just to recognize this product because it's absolutely fantastic for cleansing. And if you're going to use this product as a cleanse, what you want to do is actually take 6 pills a day. So you would take 2 pills 3 times a day, and it would last you the 10 days, and you would do it as a cleanse. And then for maintenance after that, you would take 2 pills a day. So it's a very inexpensive product when it comes to using it as a cleanse, which is really fantastic. And it's incredibly gentle. I have done other cleanses where I've had to take time off work because I felt so sick and my stomach was so upset, it was just violent, and I've had to stop. So this is one of the most gentle cleanses I have ever done, and I typically do tend to do that in January with this. I'll do that after the holiday season. But those of you that want to lose weight, Renza is absolutely fantastic for starting the process.
I was in a health food store the other day, and I was surprised to see they're still selling the California diet. It comes in a bottle. Mm-hmm. It's also called the California Weekend Diet. Lose 10 pounds in a weekend.
Oh, jeez.
It's straight laxatives. Like it's straight.
That's how the Asians like to do it.
Straight laxatives. So,
I have an Asian poopy tea in my cupboard. That's exactly that. It's a hardcore colon cleanse. Mm. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it before. You pretty much, like any of you ladies that's having a little bit of a puffy day and the next day you have to wear a nice tight dress or something like that, you get one of those nice little Asian poopy teas, and I'm telling you, the next morning you're going to wake up and your bowels will be empty.
Well, that fell in the gutter really fast. So anyway.
Really quickly, Lori was saying that I have a really hard time giving up fruit. I can give up bread and grains, etc., but fruit is really my struggle. And it's really interesting because this really great book that I was going through that I got allows for, and it's really your net carbs that you want to pay attention to, but it allows for berries. So if you're having a really hard time with fruit and giving up fruit, it really is actually the sugar that your body's craving. And because of the fact that fruit is fructose, it's got a lot of sugar in it. That's what your body's trying to cry out for, because a lot of people have candida. And so as it's essentially dying out, it's going to scream for anything that it can possibly get. And if it can fool you into having natural sugar like fructose, it will absolutely impede you getting into ketosis. So stick with some of the berries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, and I'm going to give you guys some really, really great ways to satisfy your sweet tooth that are actually keto friendly. So don't worry about that. I'm thinking
we should
about
have a commercial here, right?
Yeah.
We should, coming up after the commercial break.
I know, totally. But I got your back because I got a sweet tooth as well.
Yeah. So, okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to figure out what our calorie, and that's our fat calories. So now remember, we have to deplete our glycogen stores. So we have almost 3,000 calories of glycogen. Now, we're never going to deplete them 100%, but we want to get them to a level where they're not interfering with ketosis in our diet. So we do have to, actually, if we start off on this, we have to deplete our glycogen stores. And so for many of the people who tried TrúKeto and didn't lose weight or gain weight or whatever, your glycogen, your muscles and your body was very, very good at holding on to glycogen. You were full of glycogen, and we never got you past the point where your glycogen. So if you think about what I said before, you can do a whole week's worth of dieting and exercise, and you've barely depleted the glycogen in your body. And if you cut out...
I'm sorry, the comments. Because Susanna said, recommend some great teas, but not the poopy teas.
For sure.
I'll go grab a few out of my cupboard while he's talking to you about awesomeness.
Yeah. So we have to deplete those glycogen stores. They're going to be a little, there's some variability. The more weight you have, chances are the more glycogen you have. Now what we want to do with our proteins is we want to make sure that we're preserving lean muscle mass. When our body goes, if we put our body into this state, so if we reduce our calories below 350 in a day, like we drop them down suddenly because we're just going to lose weight, what our body will do, it will burn glycogen. It will start to burn glycogen first. The very next thing it will do, it won't burn body fat. We've got to teach your body to burn body fat. The very next thing it's going to do is start deteriorating your muscle. So we want to preserve your lean muscle mass, because lean muscle mass is actually what is going to burn the sugar off. It's actually what's going to burn we're going to turn your body fat into sugar. We actually don't burn fat, we burn sugar. So we're going to turn that into glycerin and glycerols, etc. And we're going to turn that into something that can be burnt as sugar energy in your body. So number one, figure out what your overall goal is and keep that in mind. Then remember, we have to get rid of your glycogen stores. The more fruit you eat, Lori, the more glycogen you're going to store. It's really that simple. So you have to use really low glycemic berries, like Harmony was saying. But unfortunately, fruit is really, really high in sugar, high in fructose. And fructose, by the way, is really addictive because it doesn't satisfy your sugar requirement. Your body has to break it down, and some of it sits in the liver and whatever. Anyway, okay. So
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get something from my throat because I swallowed some tea and it irritated my throat. Not because it went down the wrong hole. And then Scott brought me something for my throat and I just dropped it on the floor. Okay. I'm just being a goof. Just ignore me.
We needed a commercial break for sure. Okay, so once you've done that, so the whole idea behind TrúKeto was to help your body and help you bypass some of these natural barriers to getting your body into weight loss. Now, a keto diet is the most researched diet on the planet. People have been asking me lately if it's good for kids, particularly kids with challenges like autism, etc., etc. It is wonderful for kids. Getting kids off sugar is a wonderful thing to do. Getting them so they're not dependent on sugar. Listen, it's been used since the 1930s for kids with epilepsy. It's very, very well researched. Of all the nutritional ingredients on the planet, sugar is the one we can live without. We can't live without water. We can't live without protein. We can't live without fat. We can live without sugar. We do not need sugar. Sugar, in the form that most of us consume it, has no nutritional value whatsoever. It's just empty calories. All of the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, and everything is stripped out of most of the sugar that we're eating. When we're eating pies and cookies and cakes and chocolate bars and all that kind of stuff, that sugar has been processed to the point where there is no natural fiber, there's no vitamins, there's nothing left in it. It's empty calories. It could be combined like that with chocolate, so now it's sugar and fat. And other things are just sugar, fat, and salt that we find really, really delicious, unfortunately. So these are just the things I think that we need to understand going into this. So that first 2 weeks of our process, 2 or 3 weeks, we're not beating up on ourselves and saying, oh my gosh, it's not working for me, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Remember, we're burning off your glycogen, and remember that we have to prevent the lean muscle mass, and we actually have to get your body into fat storage mode. And Harmony's actually getting out some of her treats that she wants to show you. So.
And I'm not doing a very good job of being quiet about it.
Yeah, so...
I'm being a goof today.
Okay, so using TrúKeto. How do you use TrúKeto? So I'm going to suggest that you'll want to do a cleanse. Everybody, as good as you think you are and as good as you think your whole digestive tract is, it's always amazing when people will take it upon themselves to do a cleanse. The Renza, 2 capsules a day, or sorry, 6 capsules 3 times a day. You can do it for 10 days, you can do it for 20 days. It's a gentle thing, you can do it. If you want to go faster, you can get something with Senecot in it, or something else in there. There's many of them. There's a Renew Cleanse product that is actually a really good product. It works. Just remember that if you do something like that, you're going to be busy for a couple of days. It's just the way it is. So you might want to do it a little more slowly. The next is we have to make this adjustment. We have to, so just consider this. Write it down tonight. This is how many calories you need to lose. I have about 3,000 calories of glycogen I need to burn off. I need to start. Now, that's my start. I've already started. Now I've started. So I understand what my goal is. I understand where I'm going. How am I going to get there? And this is where we bring in the cleanse. So the cleanse is going to be good. You're going to probably lose some weight right off the bat. You're going to feel better. I'll tell you that for sure. You are going to feel better. Your clothes are going to fit a little better once you do the cleanse. And then over a period of time, we want to reduce your sugar intake a lot. And I mean a lot. So the next thing you need to do is go through your cupboard and look at labels and see how much stuff has sugar in it. Or go online. If you're not sure about a particular fruit, for instance bananas, the riper the banana, the more sugar it has in it. If you eat a banana that's relatively green, its glycemic index is considerably lower than if you save your bananas to put them in your shake and you don't care that they're brown. After, those brown ones have a tremendous, they sit there and they actually change into sugar. So there's a lot more sugar in ripe fruit than there is in fruit that's not ripened. So we want to start this gradual process. So start in the morning, give yourself some tea. You can do a tea cleanse, you can do something like that. I like to have carbs. There's 2 times in the day I like to have carbs. Either first thing in the morning or right after a workout. So if you're a person that's going to work out and you're going to get your 20 to 30 to 40 grams of carbs, and it's different for everybody. Some of you are going to have to really, really reduce carbs. entirely to get this thing to get your body to work. Some of you are not going to have to do that.
I'm going to clarify that as well, because what Alan is talking about is net carbs, and we need to really clarify that so that you guys are not losing your minds, because when you get to the point where you're actually calculating that stuff, you're going to be like, how the hell am I even going to figure that out? So I will support you there. I got your back.
Okay. Right? So you're going to, that's the next step. So I suggest this. Now, there are people I know that they're the only person in their family that needs to lose weight. And that's a really difficult situation to be in, because then you're the only person in your family that is eating a particular, you're making particular dietary choices, and everybody else in the family is still eating popcorn and doing whatever they want to do. I just want you to know, if you have kids and you have athletic kids and whatever, getting them on a keto diet actually improves their performance. That's not me saying that. That's from the study I read as well, that a keto diet will increase athletic performance. So if you do have kids, and it's a matter of it takes some determination. I just want you to know that. This takes some determination. This is a lifestyle change. I even am loath to call it a keto diet, because that inspires a lot. That word diet brings up a lot of stuff. It means that I'm going to, suffer for a period of time and then can't wait to get back to life and do things the way I used to. And I want you to know that if you're somebody that needs to lose a lot of weight, you don't want to plan on going back to what you used to do.
No.
Because you're going to get back to what you used to be.
You're just going to yo-yo right back.
Yes. So this is a safe, effective lifestyle change for the majority of people. There are some people that the keto is not, it just doesn't work for their metabolism. I look at my father-in-law, who's going to be 91 in a couple of months here. He eats more candy in a year than most kids will eat in their lifetime. But he works outside. He's a farmer. He's worked outside. He drinks milk. He eats meat and gravy and potatoes and salts his food and whatever. And he's 91 years old and doesn't look like he's going to slow down anytime soon. He's like on the far side of the bell curve, okay? He's like way over on the bell. He's like where we'd all like to be on the bell curve, but we're not. So bringing this back, where does TrúKeto fit in? You get up in the morning, you have something to drink, like a tea or whatever. Get something on your stomach, or you can drink your TrúKeto, make a latte out of it. Put your TrúKeto, have a little bit of coffee, put in some creamer, some non-sugar sugar creamer, mix it up, have a little latte, and have that to drink. And then within an hour, you have something to eat. Now, for most people, I'm going to suggest that you have something with carbs in it. You're going to feel good, you're going to feel better if you do that. If you're going to work out later in the day, you want to save some of your carbs for later, right after you work out. There's a particular reason for that. The scientific studies show us that you're very adept at burning off that carbohydrate that you take in right after a workout. The rest of your day is going to be made up of good food. And I want to emphasize this, good food. I don't advocate adding tons of oil. I'm not that person. I don't think we need to. I think if we're eating our salads and we're putting good salad dressing on there, if you like olives and you're having a snack of olives, if you're having some avocado, if you're eating good food, you're going to actually enjoy your food. And I don't see the point in adding a lot of fat, extraneous fat, to our diet. Eat some food. I find for myself, it's better if I eat more often in the day. So I try to eat every couple hours, if that's available to me. I don't usually go more than 3 hours without eating, but I try to eat every couple hours. And just so you know, it's a myth that if you stop eating at 6 o'clock at night, unless you're intermittent fasting and you're only eating for a certain number of hours in a day, and then you're leaving it for 16 hours for the next day. But if you're a regular person, I eat, if I get hungry in the evening, I have a snack, I have some protein, and I have something veggie, but I have some protein and some veggie. I might have a little bit of cheese in the evening. The reason I have a little bit of cheese in the evening, I like cheese, I use European cheeses, I like cheese. It's something I enjoy, I find it very satiating. It has a little fat in it. I like it. Some people don't like it, but I like it, and it works for me. So the rest of your day, do you want to talk about her?
Yeah, do. Just
Okay.
let me know when it's my turn.
Well, I hope that I've helped you guys, right? Like, understand your individual situation. It's nobody else's situation, your situation. How many energy calories do you have stored up that you need to get rid of? Understand that you have a pound at least, 3,500 calories at least of sugar stored in your body that you need to get rid of. Understand that the first 2 weeks your body is going to go through a process of reducing those, and if you don't supply it with the right nutrition, it's going to start burning lean muscle mass, which is not what we want to do. We want to give it good food. Your turn.
Rick McGrew is asking if the Atkins candy bars are good to eat. So the big thing that you want to be asking yourself, first of all, is looking at the ingredients and making sure that there are absolutely no sugars or hidden sugars in there. And then you want to make sure that there's nothing in there that is going to turn into sugar in your body. As long as that's the case, then it's totally fine. If you could send me maybe the label so I could take a look at it, I could totally confirm that for you, because I'm actually not quite sure what the ingredients are in that bar, but I'm absolutely happy to double check it for you.
Can I just make a suggestion?
Yeah.
One bar, if that's the name of it, one, O-N-E, one is a much better bar than Atkins bar.
Yeah.
It's got better ingredients, it's cleaner ingredients. Even Quest bars have cleaner ingredients than the Atkins bar. The thing I don't like about Atkins bars, they have low sugar, but it's acesulfame potassium is one of the sweeteners that they use, and I'm just really not a fan of acesulfame potassium. In the one bar and in the Quest bars, they actually use different, they use erythritol or Swerve or something like that, which I think is better.
Yeah, it's much better.
I try to avoid acesulfame potassium. So when you're looking at foods that are low in sugar, low carbohydrate foods, if you see that on the label, if you see acesulfame potassium, it's just something that I mean, if you talk to the people in the diet industry, they'll tell you it's perfectly safe. I'm not of that camp. I don't think it's a good sugar for us. I don't think it's good for us. It's quite often combined with aspartame, and of course we don't want to eat aspartame at all. So I don't like aspartame. I don't like acesulfame potassium. So sometimes it's just listed as AK or ACE-K. That means acesulfame potassium. So just a better choices, Rick. The one bar or the Quest bar are better choices for bars.
So I went to Costco and I was taking a look at some amazing cookbooks and stuff like that. You know what happens when you're in Costco. You get lost and it's so much fun and there's so many things you could buy. And there was this absolutely lovely cookbook done by a woman who actually has a husband and a daughter. So all the recipes that she makes in her keto book are being scrutinized by a child. So I knew they were going to be yummy. And she lost 100 pounds herself. And her husband was quite large as well. And her child was perfect and small and amazing. So she didn't need to change a thing. But the mom and dad, however, needed to lose the weight. So what's really, really spectacular is she has actually gone through in the first part of the book and just really broken things down so that you can understand what healthy natural fats are, so that you can look into what natural sources there are. Typically for me, I really like to go and use avocados. Avocados are really amazing. I've discovered MCT oil as well. And so there's lots of really great natural oils that you can use. And then of course, European cheeses, you can get some really, really nice ones. I'm looking for a good European camembert at the moment. So what's really great is she actually has a calculator where you can put your age and weight and your different information in there, and it'll actually break down how many grams of carbs, fat, and protein you want to get into your diet. So there's going to be, so for me, the recommendation was 17 grams of carbs. And when I looked at that and I was using FitDay, which is an app to track all of my intake, I had taken in 86 grams of carbs, and those were strictly from vegetables. And I was like, what the frick? what am I gonna do? So I guess I'm just not gonna eat vegetables now? Like, what am I gonna do? Because you guys need to realize that when you cut out all of your carbs, you're still eating carbs when you eat vegetables, because vegetables are carbs. So what I want you to realize and learn a bit about is net carbs. And net carbs is actually minusing your fiber and your sugar alcohols. So when you do that, it actually gives you your net carbs. And I'm gonna make this really easy for you because I'm actually gonna send you the link to her website, which will explain this a little bit further, so you don't have to try to remember everything that I'm saying to you right now, okay? So you go to her website, Keto Karma, and then you put in all your information, and then it's gonna tell you how many net carbs it is that you want. And I actually went to all of the work for you guys to create a chart that has all of the net carbs of all of the foods that you're actually allowed on the ketosis diet. So you don't even have to think about it. Yeah, I'm amazing, you're welcome.
One thing I want to just, because a comment came up there, there's always so much to learn. There's actually a lot to unlearn.
Mm-hmm.
There is things to learn, but there's a lot to unlearn about our body and how it functions. There's really, in the process of learning, there's a lot to unlearn. Like that you can go to the gym and just work it off. If I had a really good day at the gym day, I deserve a treat. There's a lot of things we need to unlearn.
I'm really active, I need carbs.
I'm really active, I need carbs. I need to carry sugar around with me because I feel faint. And so
yeah, because I'm anemic and I have low blood pressure, so I need to eat sugary foods.
Right. So there's a lot of things we need to unlearn, and there's a lot of, the one thing that we definitely need to learn is the fact that there is no nutritional value in sugar. It has no nutritional value. Zero. None. No nutritional value. We do not need sugar. That was a big thing for me to learn. We also need to learn that sugar is very addictive. It's very difficult for us as a society over the years to get sugar out of our diet, because we have actually, as a tribe, we have glorified sugar. We have got together, and the sweeter the treats, the more sugar we could eat, the more sugary drinks we could drink, the better time we were having. So one of the things that I believe that people need to learn is that you can have a really good time without all of that. You don't need all the pies and cakes and cookies and grandma's this and grandma's that. It's not that they're not good. It's not that they don't taste good, but it's the fact that they're not really healthy for us. It's true that most of us were digging our grave with our dinner fork. Absolutely true. So there's a lot of things to unlearn. It's absolutely possible to get together as a group of people and have a really good time and eat things that will help you maintain your health, your brain health, your heart health, etc., etc. So yeah, I agree there's lots to learn, but it's easy to learn. And once you've learned it, you don't have to unlearn it. That's the one thing I love about this, is that this has been around for over 100 years. This isn't something that was just come up with a few years ago or whatever. Using keto diet in children has been around 100 years, since the 1920s. It's been around 100 years, and the proper application of using keto has been written up in the Journal of the American Medical Association several times in the past 100 years, because people would go off on a tangent. They would just get off on a tangent about something. And instead of looking at what it is that our body really needs and uses, and what's anti-inflammatory and what's good for us. And so, yes. Anyway, I interrupted you.
I know, so rude. So I really want you guys to not, he was talking about how important it is to unlearn, but it's important for you guys, once you eliminate sugar from your diet, that you pay attention to what's converting into sugar in your diet. And this is where you next level your health education, and understanding that yes, eliminating foods is really important. Yes, eliminate wheat is really important, because wheat is going to turn into sugar, but you also need to be highly aware of the fact that the vegetables also have sugar, and some of the things that you think are vegetables are actually not. They're in the fruit category, and they'll be high sugar. And so you want to be paying attention to your net carbs so that you're making sure that you're not exceeding that, because some people can, what they'll do essentially is they'll compensate by, you know, snacking on carrot sticks all day, and you don't realize that they have a very high sugar content, and you are flat out exceeding your body's intake, and you are not going to go into ketosis. So you really want to learn this stuff, and you'll learn about the net carbs, and I am going to do a post for you guys so that you have access to what everything equates to in net carbs so that you can learn to track it. You can also use, which I really like to use, the app Fit Day. It's an app, not a website. And you can actually put in all of the food that you're eating, and it will give you a graph chart of your fat, protein, and carb intake so that you can actually track that and see it on a pie chart, which is really, really fantastic. And it just makes it so much easier for you to keep track. And what's really beautiful is it actually allows for you to be able to input new foods using barcodes. And it allows you to create new foods if you have the nutritional information for it. So some of the recipes that are in this cookbook don't have a barcode, clearly, but she's actually given the nutritional information at the bottom of the page. So I've added them to my app. And so when I have something, I will actually put it in there, and then it's giving me the breakdown, which is really fantastic. So spend a little bit of time focusing on this and getting to know your foods a little bit better. First and foremost, focus on having real food. This is the big thing, is I have gone into Facebook and I've looked at and joined a bunch of different keto groups, and I am telling you right now, most of the people are actually focusing on what package thing they can buy that's gonna help them cut corners. That's keto. And okay, that's really great and it makes life a lot easier, but you're actually not gonna really learn what you need to know to create a healthy lifestyle if you're not really getting into your kitchen and getting your hands dirty and learning how to make this stuff for yourself. So I did the same thing by really getting to know what it was that we could have and not have. The boys want to lose some weight, so I decided that I was going to support them, and we were all going to do it together as a family because I love them, and it's not fair if I'm eating other stuff. Plus, I totally am a meat eater, and I love the keto diet. When I was looking at the recipes in this book, you guys, I straight up am all over this like a dirty shirt, and I do not feel like I'm being deprived for a second.
Yeah, I want to make that point. When you actually get a really good book like this and start reading recipes, you're going to start drooling.
Yeah.
They're actually really, really good. It's a great way to eat. And I think another thing is that most people think, when they think keto, they think of eating out in a restaurant, and they're kind of limited to, gee, what am I going to have? You know, a burger with some cheese and lettuce on it or something like that and no bun. When you get into this, there's a lot of food to eat. There's a lot of food. You know, when I talked to John and Sherry Buswood, who've been so successful using TrúKeto, and they cheat once in a while, but they get right back. You know, they know that if they cheat, they're going to gain like 3-4 pounds, and they just get right back onto it. No big deal. The variety of foods they eat is incredible. Like they eat way more variety now than they ever did when they were eating before, and they were just, you know, eating their normal packaged foods. It's incredible how much there is for you to eat and how good it really is. It's really good.
This is not a deprivation diet.
No.
I really want you guys to understand that this isn't a deprivation diet. So I put the link in there in the comments, but I will absolutely share it on our page as well, so you'll get the full post with the visual. But this is the book right here, Simply Keto. Okay? And I am not messing around. It literally is. And she makes it incredibly simple. So I'm just gonna really quickly skim through here. Okay,
pancakes.
Keto pancakes, what? And then there was keto waffles, and oh my gosh, this one right here absolutely slays me. Oh wait, okay, keto waffle sandwiches, yeah, all over that like a dirty shirt. And then, okay, there's one back here.
Keto lasagna.
That I absolutely, look at how beautiful that is. I want that. Yeah, the cameraman's drooling right now. There are some incredibly beautiful recipes here that there's just no way that there's deprivation going into this. Like steak and asparagus. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely delicious.
like, I was going through this with my boyfriend, and we were looking at the recipes and stuff, and Scott was like, what? Bacon wrapped chicken? I will totally make that. That is a man's dream right there.
Yeah,
Every man's dream. What? Meat wrapped in meat? Okay. So there are so many beautiful recipes, and I actually, I got some really cool silicone forms, and I got some stevia sweetened chocolate chips, which is really cool. I want you to realize that it's way more expensive than regular chocolate chips, like 3 times the cost. And I got organic peanut butter, or we got an organic nut butter that was actually mixed nut butters. We got macadamia nuts, we got raspberries, we got a bunch of stuff. And I had a couple of fun days in the kitchen, and I made some recipes. So, oh my gosh, keto brownies. Yeah, super deprived over here. So the first day I made chocolate
so good.
cake in a cup. Okay, I was full from dinner, so I only had so much of it, so my kid actually ate the rest of mine, and Scott got mad at him because he wanted my leftover cake. So
That is so good.
it passed the teenager test, okay? And then this one right here is chocolate covered macadamia balls. They're like half circles basically, right? So I actually got some forms for these, and I made them, and the forms are a little bit different, but this is what they look like. And there is no guilt involved in that because you're getting the stevia sweetened chocolate, and they're using MCT oil in there, which is really, really fantastic. And the sweetener, which Alan did mention, is this one right here. Can we get the cameraman? It's called Swerve. So this is a keto friendly sweetener, and I picked it up at Whole Foods. Yes, it's expensive, but it is absolutely fantastic. And the flavor that you get out of it is really, really great.
Nice.
So there's, this one's the granular, and then I also got the one that's the consistency of icing sugar. So depending on what it is that you're making, whether you're doing like baking type stuff or whether you're doing whipping cream, which we did do keto friendly whipping cream. Oh my God, which we put on the top of our chocolate cake. I actually did take a picture of it. I could post it for you guys. So delicious. And then the next one that I did was chocolate peanut butter cups. And I'm telling you, I think the boys are actually searching for the peanut butter cups in and amongst the macadamia ones because they are really preferring these ones. It tastes like the Reese's peanut butter cups. Like, it's so, so delicious. And then the other one that I did, which is these guys right here that are melting. These are raspberry treats, and it's actually like, oh my goodness, cream cheese and stuff like that. I'll show you what that one looks like. They are called raspberry cheesecake fat bombs. Oh yeah. So there are some absolutely amazing, delicious recipes in here. And the thing that I really love about her is the fact that she was cooking and making all of this stuff for a family. So it absolutely passed the scrutiny of a little one. And I'm telling you, I make this stuff for my teenager, and he's all over it. And I made it very clear to him because I'm gonna warn you, your setup cost to do this stuff isn't cheap, because you're having to get nice silicone molds, and you're having to get high-end chocolate, and MCT oil is expensive, and your Swerve and stuff like that. So initially the setup, it's not gonna be cheap, but you know, I made it clear to Winston, I'm like, look, this is how much it cost me to start making all of these. So I just want you to be gentle on them and do not touch the desserts until you ask me. We are going easy on this stuff. But it absolutely curves the sweet tooth because you're getting all of that yumminess and sweetness, but there's literally no sugar involved. So it supports your body still going into ketosis and utilizing its fat stores as energy, and you're not being deprived, which is the big, huge thing. I want you guys to realize you don't have to suffer on this.
Yeah, and can I say this, that when you're eating like this, you're not going back and eating like you do with sugar.
No.
When you, like, you can't eat 6 of those macadamia things. You just can't do it.
No, we have one.
Yeah.
You just have one.
So while the setup cost is a little bit...
it's expensive, because it's
we
higher quality stuff.
We did it too, and we got all the stuff out of our house that we weren't going to be tempted by, and got rid of it. And then we put the stuff in. We did a one-time thing, got our almond flour, got our coconut flour, got our stuff, and did it. It was very easy to get, by the way, and we're set up. And so it's not, now you can cook your food. And you don't eat like you used to. I just want you to know you're not hungry.
Your appetite goes down.
You're not craving stuff. And then with the TrúKeto, you're not craving stuff. You just feel so good. So I don't know what else to say. It's
yeah, that's because it's my turn.
Okay.
So Suzanne wanted me to recommend some teas. So one of my absolute favorites that I picked up, this is the High Mountain Black Tea from the company O5. This is a really beautiful tea that actually has, it's got tasting notes of nuts, and it's got a little bit of a cacao tasting note to it. This one right here, you steep it for about 35 seconds, and it's sacrilege to put honey and sugar or milk or anything in it. Sacrilege. I wouldn't touch it with anything. So I would have this one just as it is. It's a black tea. It is beautiful. So the other one that I really like, and I don't know if you guys know that this exists, but you can get purple leaf tea. Yeah, that's right. My world is complete. Purple leaf tea. And again, I wouldn't mess with this either. So no, I don't put sweetener in it at all. I put this in my beautiful kettles and my beautiful teacups, and I drink it just the way that it is. The flavor is really, really nice. And if you go to David's Tea, which you guys don't have in America, but you guys probably can find some different tea companies and stuff that'll have tin teas, loose leaf teas, and they have really spectacular teas that you can turn into iced teas and stuff to drink, and you don't add any sugar or anything. This one's called, it's a fruit infusion tea. This is wild strawberry, which you're allowed to have on the ketosis diet, which is really, really great. So that's a really nice one. This one's called Sparkling Sangria. It's a herbal tea. So this one, again, I can either have hot or I can have cold, and it doesn't need sweetener at all. And I absolutely love my Chinese and Japanese traditional green teas. And anybody that I know that ever goes to China or Japan, they come back with Japanese matcha tea or green tea for me because they know how much I love it. And again, sacrilege to put honey or sweetener or milk or any of that in it. So, and rooibos, which I didn't grab from my cupboard, my collection's way too big. Rooibos is a natural sweet tea, and you can absolutely have that one, and you would really, really enjoy the flavor of that. It's actually an African honey bush, natural, so you don't have to worry about that. So drink the crap out of your teas. The soda stream, which is really, really cool, you can get, and you can make tea pops, which is really fantastic. You can make iced teas and have those. So you can have flavored drinks without having to worry about adding the sugar content, which is what I do because I don't drink pop. I don't drink pop at all, ever. So the other big, big, big thing that I know that Alan mentioned before when we've talked about the TrúKeto diet, but I really want to mention this, especially for you guys who are in America, you need to pay attention to what your meat is eating. Yes, I want you to get that it probably is going to be double the cost for you to get meat that's not being finished with carbs. But if you are allowing your meat to be fed soy and wheat and corn, then you're basically just carving it up and your body's not going to go into ketosis. So be aware of what is turning into sugar in your diet, but also be aware of what your food is eating. Because you could be inadvertently getting carbs in your diet and you don't even realize that you're doing it, and it's totally throwing you under the bus. And then you're going to turn around and go, TrúKeto doesn't work, it totally sucks, blah, 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 blah. But it turns out that the cow was actually eating wheat, and that's what it is that's actually blocking you. So we really want to do everything that we possibly can to support you guys having all of the knowledge that you need to arm you to be able to be hugely successful. This is the most researched lifestyle plan, medically researched and backed up. There is no other health plan that has the kind of scientific research to back it than this does. So if somebody comes to you and says, I tried the keto diet and I had a heart attack, or I tried the keto diet and I didn't get anywhere and I need carbs, I'm a what? Cool. Feel free to tell them to go do some research on PubMed, and they will realize for themselves that when it is done right, when you open your eyes and you really learn what you need to know to pay attention to what is turning into sugar in your body and what the food that you're choosing to eat is also eating, you will have lots of success and you will not feel deprived at all, because you can go to the freezer anytime and grab yourself a chocolate sweet treat, which is absolutely amazing. It just takes a little bit of time and fun with the kids in the kitchen, and it's absolutely a lot of fun to do it. You will absolutely get into this and you'll love it. And you'll find that it will actually be something that you'll be like, you know what? This is a lifestyle. I want to keep doing this. This is an easy way to eat.
Absolutely.
And to support you, this amazing book, this lovely woman has actually covered how to do the keto diet when you're actually eating out. So she has approached that in her book. She's got a YouTube channel and all of the rest of that. And she's much more of an expert than I am, to be honest, because she's lost the 100 pounds. I've never had the 100 pounds to lose. So I absolutely defer to her and show respect and really enjoy her book. And I've really been enjoying her recipes. So if you really want a quick, easy start, go to her website. It'll give you that information as to what the percentages and grams it is that you need for your fat, protein, and carbs. Net carbs, please remember that. And, you know, go to Costco and get the book and start making some recipes and put yourself some sweet treats in the freezer, so that if you have a sweet craving, you're not going to end up crumbling and burning. Yes, you can always have Probita. Don't forget the Probita. The chocolate Probita is a really great way. The orange or the lingonberry, they're all very sweet tasting, and they're sweetened with stevia. So that's really, really great. So you got that as well until you set yourself up with your sweets. But once you get yourself set up, there's literally no need to cheat whatsoever and go and get one of those Mars bars or whatever it is they have in America. I don't know if you guys have Mars bars.
I do.
So just to let you know, I am going to post that website again for you guys. And I will also share the information about the net carbs to make that easy for you, because that was a few hours worth of work on my part to put all that information together. So I know that it might be a little bit of a headache for you guys. So I'm totally happy to support you on that. Go on a journey and discover all the great teas that are out there, so you can have some great flavored iced teas this summer and not feel like you're deprived at all. Make yourself some great stuff to go in the freezer so you've got something sweet to turn to. And I'm telling you, your kids are going to love the desserts in this cookbook.
Absolutely.
And I want to also let you guys know that Alan's going to be doing a really great little series of short videos to support you guys, educating others on the TrúKeto diet and how to get started. So anybody that's like, I don't want to watch these two talking for like an hour, we're totally on this, and we're going to support you guys by putting out some shorter ones that you can send out there for people to watch to get the education in shorter increments. So thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us. We really appreciate all of you. Is there anything else you want to?
Nope, that's cool.
Cool. So I will post this on YouTube for all of you guys. And we love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for showing up. And I just want to give a shout out to all of you guys who were tagging people before we started this live event over the last few days to bring people on and stuff. I really, really appreciate you guys doing that to spread the word and to get people to come on to the live event so they can learn more about this. So absolutely keep tagging friends and getting them to come on to our live events. And after we're done live, we are paying attention, and we do pay attention to the comments and the questions, and we will respond. And if you want to private message us, we'll also get back to you as quickly as we can. And please realize and notice that this is open source. So if you want to share this anywhere with your friends on Facebook, you can do that. And it will be on YouTube on the Glutathione Authority page as well, so that you'll be able to take that YouTube link and share it as well, so that we can share the information. So we will see you next Monday, same time, same place. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Bye.